What do you do during slow trading days to stay patient? How do you stay out of the trade?
Well, there's not always a trade. I mean, the best thing to do is just walk the hell away. But typically, I don't have a problem sitting here watching it. I have
This
went
is
on
hold on,
tilt
wait,
before,
wait,
like
wait, wait.
the other
This
day.
is hold on, wait. This is one of those
What?
cases of do what I say, not what I do, because you
Just
have
because I'm
more.
sitting here watching it, don't mean
You
I'm
have
taking
more screen
trades.
time than probably Zach and I put together. We've probably been trading longer than you in terms of like days and months and years, but you definitely have more screen time per day. Your per day average is probably close to the entire market, whereas I probably have the lowest average. After about an hour and a half, I'm like, I'm good, man. Thanks. I'll check it at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, all right. For
Walk
example, like
away.
everybody,
Your comment was walk away, but you really don't walk away and you
but I'm
sit
not
there all day, but you don't trade. So how do
right.
you manage to do that?
If it's like that and there's not action or whatever, I just go to a practice account. If I want to trade, typically I don't. I'm logged into my accounts. I just don't take anything if I don't see anything.
Yeah, Bobby's just really selective, which is good. I typically am very selective until I'm down money. And then I see all kinds of trades. If I'm either break even or up, it's rare for me to just jump into the market. Like I will wait for a good setup. I will wait for something to play out. I will look for some confirmation. But besides that, if I'm down, I got to fix that issue on my end.
Another thing with me is like, people do their back testing and everything, and I'll do that during the day with a practice account instead of going back. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
it's it's more entertaining for me. That way I can still check out what it's happening at certain levels and things like that. I'm not risking my money or a prop firm, you know what I'm saying?
To be clear, are you literally back testing or are you just forward testing in a practice
Well,
account? So
I guess you would call it forward testing.
right. So you're just testing your theories,
Right.
your new trading strategies. I actually do not have practice accounts. Even if I have a Top Step account and they give me a free one, I actually email customer support and say, "Will you please take that off my account?" Like I just don't want them at all. So if I get a crazy idea, like when I was trading the SMA break, when I wanted to try that strategy, when we reached new highs, I wanted a new strategy. I literally just sized down and kept trading it and
Yeah,
found out the hard way.
I've done that with micros until, like you say, found out the hard way, and then I quit doing that.
Yeah, the good thing for me right now is I've been trying to stick to trading micros, so I have more wiggle room. But also, if I take a 20 to 40 point loss with some micros, I'm only down like $50 to $100. I can take multiple trades after that. But if you were oversized or if you had a big size, you can't afford to take 20 and 40 point
Yeah,
losses on a
especially in a combine. If you're
in a
planning on
combo.
doing any amount of holding at all, I think micros is the way to go, especially in a combine.
If I'm reading in that, so the original question was, how do you manage to stay patient? And you guys are kind of inferring, what I'm inferring is if you can't stay patient, just size down so at least you can weather the storm.
That's
No, because I don't. I mean, I don't hold for a long time. So most of my stuff is I trade like one contract and maybe two, and then in and out.
To be clear, I think you should size down regardless. Now, I'm not saying you got to trade micros, but you should not be taking a size that two or three trades is going to blow your account.
Right.
So on a day like today, where we literally have this, I don't know, our top was 130, our bottom is like 55. So on a day like today, what have you guys really done? So did you size down? Did you walk away? Like, I know, like, just me personally, I've only taken two trades today, which for me is very conservative.
Sure.
Like, usually I try to have fewer than 10 trades in a day, usually fewer than eight. Usually by this point, I would have had four or five at least, but I've only had two.
Yeah. I have taken several trades today, maybe 10, which is, I'm not saying that's good, probably bad. But I mean, because I'm trading micros, the most I've been down today is like $300. And
Okay.
now I'm up $100. So, I mean, I could withstand a couple of losses because of my size.
And then Bobby, you I know you've been trading in a practice account.
Well, I traded my combines this morning, but I was way down in drawdown. I only had like a couple $100 left, and I blew that. But that was like at market open, and I was pretty sure that was going to happen anyways because it's just ridiculous to. I mean, if it pulls back at all, it's going to $200 ain't nothing.
And when I say trades, they're scalps. They're very, very small, tight. Some people consider trades to be like 20 or 50 to 100 points, or not a points, like ticks. So
Right.
15 to 25 points. Most of my stuff today has been 10 or less.
I mean, playing off that supply and demand shit that I've been working on, I've taken one trade in, well, again, practice account. I've taken one trade other than that. I'm up $800.
I took both my trades. Well, I think my strategy for today, and I think I deal with it in different ways. First of all, I know my tendency. I think you have to know your tendency.
Of course.
When I start getting impatient or I start looking at the clock and I think, oh, I have something to do today and I need to be out of here by a certain time, I
Oh,
start like,
it's
yeah,
definitely not a time to trade.
right. That builds that anxiety. And then I start thinking, oh, this might be the only move I get between now and, 15 minutes from now or something. Like I start looking at the moves and I go, that might be the best move I get, so I better just take it. And I feel pressured into the trade. Last night I thought about what I expected today to be like. I knew yesterday was kind of slow, except for the very beginning move and the very end move. If you took those two moves out, yesterday was very slow day. And I thought, well, if that happens again, and I think I even said it earlier, maybe just trade the first hour and the last hour and then let everything in the middle just kind of fall away. And so I knew I was looking for the opening move. I knew that. So if you look at my two trades, I took one like 1 minute into opening and then 5 minutes into opening. So both my trades were in the first 5 minutes, and then I just didn't trade anymore. And I think there was one really good move that kind of got by me. But other than that, I don't really feel too bad for setting out. I don't think these moves were super great.
With the exception of the big drop, there haven't been great moves today.
And well, speaking of which, that is the reason I even brought up the one move that got by me. I do feel a lot of anxiety. Like yesterday, I went back and watched our video from yesterday, and like in the first 15 minutes, I made a comment, and I'm like, man, I got in my own head yesterday. And the comment was, I feel like I've already missed a good move. I probably won't trade good for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I do let those things, like, as much as you should, just like, it's kind of like the basketball thought, like if you miss a shot, just let it go. You can't collect all the bad things that happen in a game. And it's kind of the same thing here. Like, you really shouldn't think back while you're trading for the day. Like, sure, after it's over, go back, watch your videos or look at your journal.
Yeah.
But in the middle of trading, you probably don't want to think about the bad things that are happening, because then that sticks in your brain, and then you kind of have this self-fulfilling prophecy of more bad trades.
Only
Yeah.
worry about the things you can control.
And for me personally, even though we had a 60, 65 point drop, whatever it was, I did not agree with that move. I did not think that was coming. It did happen, but so I mean, I don't feel like I missed out on it because it's not a trade I would normally have taken.
The trade we're talking about was this. There was this real big drop. A lot of people were long, and then it came down and held up. And so I thought it might go back up. That's why I didn't enter. But then it dropped pretty quickly in about 4 minutes. Had this really nice drop off. Just to show what I was doing myself earlier when I took some trades. I remember exiting this second trade, and I even said, so I entered this and I got out, and then I actually said, because I was a little bit regretful at first. I said, oh, I shouldn't have got out of that. I should have held it. And then I said, nope, I know that was the right trade. I started self-talking. I was like, I know that was the right thing to do. I know that was the right thing to do. I'm glad I got out. And then it did go up a little bit, and then it pulled way back. And so, trusting myself in that moment, and then not letting negative self-talk convince me to stop or to get out of that trade. All right. So more or less 3 different approaches to how to stay patient. I try to look forward and think and like I got to like almost outsmart myself. Bobby kind of goes to practice account and then just suggest walking away if you can. And then Zach is more of a size down, practice really good risk management to make sure you don't blow your accounts. And that should keep you from getting agitated because I know the beginning part of tilt is you make a couple of bad decisions and then you're like, oh, might as well just blow this account. I don't even care.
Yep.